Hello viewers, my name is Leopold Munente. Thank you so much for following newszimbabwe.com. You are on our Facebook page. This same program will also be shared on our YouTube channel, Newzim TV. We are talking of the suicide cases which we have reported in Zimbabwe over the course of 2019. Already between January and around April, there were about 129 cases of suicide, with 40% of those mainly being members being from the youth ages of between 18 to 35. With me today is Makanaka Masenyama, one of our reporters here at newszimbabwe.com, and Stephen Chuma. Stephen Chuma has been a member of various youth organizations and is currently the MDC Youth Assembly spokesperson. Welcome to the program, Stephen.
Thank you.
Maka?
Thank you very much.
So we start off by just a rundown of these scenarios. Mr. Chuma, I'm sure you know that there is a kid from Prince Edward who jumped from the third floor of a building in town.
Yes.
We have seen a rise in this kind of cases where kids are constantly committing suicide for various reasons. What do you think is the issue around all this?
Firstly, to begin with, I think there are various circumstances as to why our young people are now deciding to take that route, which is very dangerous route. First, let me say there's lack of social support from the government, especially given the current economic situation, with so many houses that are headed by juveniles. Then you also take a case of where in other countries like South Africa, you see the social support where single mothers, for example, or those who are disabled, will get some kind of an allowance to cushion up to get a better living. But in this country, there's no that kind of support. So they find that, for example, a child may be the head of the family and is confronted by various challenges as a young person. Maybe there's also a lack of support in terms of school fees and so forth. Then the child end up having an emotional distress. So at the end of the day, these people have nowhere to turn to.
And then you are speaking of the support system, about the Zimbabwean support system.
Yes.
Makanaka is a bit religious. Yeah, I can say that. Does the church have a role to play in all this? And is it playing that role? Are people still going to churches to get maybe the social support which Mr. Chuma is talking about here, which is saying is lacking in this country?
Okay, Leopold. Indeed, the church has a role to play in molding and shaping the youth because they are the future. Well, the church these days, they are the main churches, the mainline churches. I can speak of the Roman Catholic Church, the Anglican, and those other churches. Then there's the Pentecostal churches, and there comes a difference because when it comes to the church has got a doctrine and they've got a certain way of doing things. But obviously, every church has got the youth, and nowadays the youth. Some of them they do go, some of them they go in the name of just going for presence, just going, and others they just don't care about it. But nowadays it's up to someone, or if I say it's up to one's self to choose to go to the church and join the group. But as of me, I think for the past years I've noticed that the youth at church, the numbers are becoming fewer, lesser and lesser. I don't know why, because they say maybe it's boring. You know, when it comes to church, they're being molded. Don't drink beer, don't do this, and some do enjoy drinking beer, and then they say these youth programs are very boring and the likes. So the youth are running away lately from these church groups, which advise them, where there will be church advisors, where there will be priests, where there will be they call them the anatetes and the anasekurus to actually advise them. But most of them are running away. I don't know, for some reason.
And then you are from a very big organization, the MDC. and you are one of the top leaders in the Youth Assembly. Do the youth organizations in this country have enough capacity to deal with the stress you're talking about? Do you think they have the support to deal with all this?
Firstly, let me say we do have a various number of youth organizations, especially those from the civic society. But the challenge that we now have in Zimbabwe is that our civic society groups or youth groups, they are operating in an environment that is very hostile, where the government of the day is in a panic state or is in a panic mode. You agree with me that so many times when these organizations try to meet, to converse, just to converse on ordinary social issues, the government usually is in panicking to the extent that some of these meetings will be disallowed or dispersed without even taking place. So basically, the public sphere, as far as the youth organization is concerned, is diminishing, especially due to the fear of the government of the day that young people might organize under the banner of social issues.
And so you're saying, yeah, I get what you're saying, that the state, even if youths organize themselves to deal with economic issues or social issues, then the state might panic and think it is politics. Yeah. And then we can simply move over to the economic aspect. Zimbabwe is one of the highest unemployment rates in the world, if I may say.
Yes.
And most of those who are affected by that rate are the youths. Is this affecting this trend in any way? And before we move forward, thank you to Simba Chikanza for watching Kuda Kwashe Murombo. Kuda Kwashe Murombo zvakaoma. Nothing to say much, but in Zara plus Vakadzi, pane language which I cannot speak on TV, but anyway, Kuda Kwashe Murombo, thank you so much for following news in TV. Jose Pedro Mbewe Andras, thank you so much. Kletos Kwirai as Taurai Neshona. Alright, get Taurai Neshona. Take go chinjanisa since we yes was school in Devere, must not call my Neshona, but we will use all languages. Thank you, Kletos. So we were now talking about the economy, the unemployment rate, and how it is affecting mainly the youths themselves. Is this in any way affecting them mentally in such a way that they are finding suicide is the best option or the best way out of all this?
Yeah, Leo, Tora Chokwadi, our young people are suffering the level of poverty that you find in rural areas, that you find in our ghettos. It's very, very alarming. It's not what the Leo we have so many young people, my graduates for that matter, people who are qualified, highly qualified, but there's no way to seek employment. So at the end of the day, these people, they turn up just to get a living, and some end up in the streets taking drugs, and also not because these people they want to take that route, but because the economy is not giving an opportunity to these young people to have a chance in life. So at the end of the day, some who are conscious, who are morally conscious, it's better I take my own life.
Okay, so for example, I think Makanaka, did you cover that incident where a Prince Edward student committed suicide in town? And the student was very clear, ladies and gentlemen, that I cannot live like this. He was afraid of growing up. That is exactly what he said. He said that he is afraid of growing up. So this is a trend, as you can see. Even artists such as Rana Gaspi Warrior contemplated committing suicide at one time. And when we're talking of Gaspi Warrior, we're talking of someone who akakuriswa nembereke anoita church. Vanonzani baba wake Manyeruki. You see, but this is his son who's contemplating committing suicide. And I don't think it's anything to do with the economy per se. Maybe Maka, you might have a different view to this.
All right. Besides the economy, which is very hard, there are other things which contribute mostly to young people thinking of committing suicide. This comes with mainly, I think, social media, as well as peer pressure. You know, with social media, so many things can come through. In a day, you can receive 1,000 messages. And given that, maybe in the Western countries, people, they think that maybe most of them, they have guns in their houses, and their parents will be keeping guns in the house. And they think that maybe just because I can't do this and I can't do that, giving an example of that Churchill boy, it wasn't necessarily like economic situations, but it was due to low self-esteem. If I'm correct, the boy, I heard that he was saying that I can't do this because it was examination time. He was an upper sixth student. So due to low self-esteem, I can't do this, I can't do that. In the end, those thoughts, they'll be just ringing in your mind. So it's not necessarily economic issues, but things to do with low self-esteem, things to do with peer pressure, things to do with, even we can talk of others, they just, maybe this is a bit spiritual, you know, if I can put it that way. It can be spiritual, you know, spirit of death. It is not connected to economic hardships. So these things, they end up causing suicidal thoughts in one's mind.
But then in other countries, in other countries, okay, there are rehabilitation centers. Do we have those? And if they are there, are they fully functional? Are they doing their job? Maybe Mr. Chuma, you can answer that question after we take a short break. My name is Leopold Mnene. I'm with Stephen Chuma, a member of the MDC Youth Assembly Executive. He is the spokesperson. I'm also here with Makanaka Masenyama, one of our own at News in TV. She's the one who usually gives you the news every evening. So we will be taking a short break. Please make sure to give us more of your comments. Thank you so much. Hurumende ndiyo iri kukonzera nzara munyika. Mukatarisa munguva yapfuura pataidya mabhiso $4 for 2 kwaiva kusina masuicide avako aya. Nzara yawanda munyika umu. Upambi hwawanda nekuda kwenzara. Vanhu voita zvisizvo kutsvaga raramo. Thank you so much Gwai. Thank you so much. Kletos Kwirirai ari kubvumirana nezvawataura zvecyberbullying. He's saying that yes, that is a contributing factor to the rise in suicidal thoughts and tendencies within the youth, especially. Thank you so much. Proud of you, Maka. That is andisuda kufungira kuti hama yako yawatuma. But yeah, thank you so much Tatenda Summers Samkange. Thank you so much for following us. So we'll be taking a short break, and then Sarkozy, as he is popularly known, Mr. Chuma, will answer the question on rehabilitation centers, how they are capacitated and whether or not they are there in Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for staying with us. We are newszimbabwe.com and this is News in TV. I am Leopold Mende with Stephen Sarkozy, the MDC Youth Assembly spokesperson, and Makanaka Masenyama, one of our reporters who gives you the news every evening. For those who follow us on Facebook and News in TV on YouTube. So Mr. Sarkozy, we're talking of rehabilitation centers. Has our government done enough to capacitate this? Are they there?
Definitely, it's open. It's clear that the government has not done enough on that side, on that front. Because if you look at the issue of support of rehabilitation centers, they fall under the Ministry of Social Welfare. And you agree with me that this is the very same ministry that produced a minister who was recently arrested over the issues to do with corruption, meaning to say at face value, automatically there's abuse of resources that are supposedly meant to be channeled towards the support of rehabilitation centers. For example, you can take rehabilitation centers of the Zimbabwe Prison Correctional Services. For example, the one in Gweru. The way reports that in some of these centers, there's not even enough things or enough of the basic commodities like food. So it becomes very difficult and an uphill task to rehabilitate people in an environment that looks like more of a concentration camp than a rehabilitation center.
And then are youths losing hope? Do you think youths are losing hope and resorting to suicide?
As a youth leader, I wouldn't want to say youth are losing hope as per se, but maybe there is an age group that can be easily swayed to say, maybe we failed. But then we also, because youth is 15 to 35, right? Mm-hmm. And I think those that are still in their teen years, those are the ones whom we can say maybe they've lost hope. But as you grow older, you begin to think wide and say, probably the solution lies in me. Because anywhere in the world where change has happened, it was because of young people who took it upon themselves to say, yes, we can change our circumstances.
And then you were talking of parenting. I'll ask Maka, because Maka is a recent mother, so you might even comment, Mongom to congratulations. So, Maka, is this teach kurata ero, school as a child, and then current regulation says it is now illegal for children to be beaten up by parents. Yamunozo corporal punishment. Yeah, and then you talked of parenting. Tobataisa nema comments akataura na police spokesperson Ponyati achiti vana vari kuzviuraya nenyaya yekuti vari kuti kana vakatsiurwa vanenge vasingadi kutsiurwa, vamwe vacho kwete vese, vamwe vacho vari kuti vakatsiurwa vanenge vasingadi kutsiurwa vozoita sei vongoti ndakuita sei ndakuzviuraya. Kushota corporal punishment is it in any way affecting all this, or it's just another one of those issues?
Well, when it comes to parenting, there are parents, there is an extended family, and like I said, even the church is also family. Now, when it comes to corporal punishment, when we used to grow up, our neighbor next door was mama. If I would misbehave, I would know if that the mother from the next door would actually bind it zora put makausadaro. And I wouldn't be hurt, and I wouldn't have any grudges with her, because I would know we are a family. She is doing this out of love. But nowadays, with parents of these days, no one tells my child what to do. If I see my daughter Makomborero being advised what it's what America next to do, no, you don't do that to my daughter. That's where the problem comes. We are now so they are not exposed. They don't know. They only say my parent is the only person I listen to. When it comes even to the church, which we're talking about, when it comes to even other centers, they don't even listen. They just think my parent. What if I'm advising her the wrong way? Then comes the problem. And also when it comes to extended families, we have our aunts, our uncles, anatete, anasekuru. We've got our grandparents, our grandmothers, and our grandfathers, our gogos and our sekurus. Back then, they used to play a very big role in molding and in advising children accordingly, because this generation is quite is being affected somehow by the Western values. We the new parents are being affected by the Western values. Thereby, kurovamana, I can't do that. But back then, they would know that if you're sucking your finger, if I bit that finger, don't suck your finger because it's bad. But nowadays we can't do that. We can't take our children to the rural areas. Most of the time they are in Harare. So how are they going to learn the other things? How are they going to be exposed?
And then maybe Mr. Sarkozy can add a bit of that. This is corporal punishment. Run the police spokesperson so police spokesperson uponyati wathi na abanye abantwana bathi bona nxa bengakhuzwa bebona ngani ngisebedelelwa njengoba sebekwazi uhulumende ngasavumela ukuthi bechaye bahle bekhulume la ukuthi abangconyezi bulale yikho sekusenza. So we are asking Mr. Chuma, this in the context of the African society now.
I think this one is a trick one, and it's a debate that has been raging on for some time. Because if you look at it, the issue of corporal punishment, because of the international practices as far as human rights issues is concerned, it is quite degrading to, even if somebody comes and beat you up, it's very degrading. So I think that's where it emanates from. But then you also look at our African context, or even the biblical context, where they say you spare a rod, you spoil a child. I think it also goes to balance say some parents. Because kuna kuroa kwa kuti uri kuroa zvikutsiura. Kwete kuroa kwa kuti chiro munhu akazoona kuti panga kuchiri kuroa here kana panga kuponda. So I think that's where the debate lies on. Because kune kuroa kwekutsiura, kwete kumwe kuroa kwokuti kana niwega ukaona mwana anenge aroa kana ticha kuchikoro zvinakidzi zvachose.
Then manje you are talking of kuroa kwekutsiura nekuroa kwekutoponda kuyake. Are Zimbabwean parents ready for this? Of course, it is now low. One way or the other, they have to be ready for it because Kanaka says it already. I mean, Makanaka report on it as a but are they prepared enough to deal with their children's misdemeanors and it without resorting to corporal punishment, without having to resort to corporal punishment? Issue of
kutsiura mukomalio, it also goes to issue of counseling. Counseling chinotendwa kuchikoro mukazvitarisa kunotori counseling service unit anoto offer that. So I would want to say my parents also anogona kuwana that gift naturally. So it's a very tough ask. I don't know what kind of a plan can we have so that our people or our parents can have that skill so that they can be able to talk to sit down and talk to their children if they've done something wrong and proffer a solution without resorting to violence.
Okay. So back to our issue, suicide. We are now about to round off our program. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Ritanya Mpinga. Thank you for following newzimbabwe.com. Tatenda Summers, Anzinditi Hai kuna Makanaka, Anna Tatenda Samkange Odise, Elvis Tanaka Mutomba, Zimbabwe Yakaoma Ivan Vazunga Itwa Nenzara. Yeah, that is another point which was being talked about here, which is economy. I say, Shatan Tatenda Madzingo is also following. Thank you so much. Dennis Ndlovu, a top fan. ZANU PF brought all these hardships to the people of Zimbabwe. So that is Dennis Ndlovu. Dennis Ndlovu. What's your take on Dennis Ndlovu's point?
Yeah, that is the general sentiment in the country. To say the general cause of the people's misery, be it on some of these social issues, because issues tichikura, it used to be a taboo kutonzwa kutoti munhu anoita zvekuzvitengesa muiri wake. Why? Because vanhu vange vaine chiremera, people would look at themselves vaine chiremera, because kana uchienda kubasa uchitambira, why would you want to say about somebody iwe uchitione basa rimwe rokupa mari yakakwana? So I think that's where the people's anger is coming from. The level of unemployment is very high. So people are now resorting to extraordinary ways of survival, which are morally incorrect as far as some other people look at it.
How much is right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, Silva Chilembi, thank you so much for your comment sharing the next time. So, how best to deal with this situation? Yekuti my youth akuramba achizisungira. Of course, pane mumwe pastor wechikuru akazisungirira mutauni futi akazvidonhedza mutauni. How best, Maka, do you think we can deal with this situation? We are not going to focus on the elderly. We are youth. The elderly will deal with their own issues. I am joking, of course, but we are focusing on the youth today. So we just want to know how, or discuss how best we can come up with a solution or a proposal as to how youth themselves can deal with the current. We talked of the economic aspect. We talked of our support systems. We talked of even their upbringing. If there is a deficiency, then I keep up. How best can they do that, Makanaka?
Okay. They say a problem shared is half solved. I think with youths of today, some they are very outspoken, some they are introverts. Now it comes to personality, because when it comes to someone then deciding to commit suicide, it comes with one's inner self. So I would say that it's good to share as youths. It's good to share. And though sharing then comes with other people judging, being judgmental and the likes, but at least saying it out is best. Saying it out to who? Then saying it out to someone you feel free to. Or just to a friend, say you're at school, to a teacher. I know some people are very hard to approach, but someone, if you look closely, everyone has got someone they can talk to, at least they can talk to. So I think it's best to share your problems with someone. Therefore, maybe these thoughts can never keep on pondering in mind. And then the other thing is that attending some of these events, say we were talking about youth programs, civic society groups, attending, be there. Go and listen, what are they saying, what are they doing, what is happening out there, so that your mind is occupied with other things, not just thinking of what's troubling me and what am I going to do. Go out, meet people, chat, have conversations with different people. Then you might see that that very thing you are thinking that is troubling you, actually it's a small matter. Someone may help you. And then and other things, actually, for church, those youths who have refrained from going for youth programs, I would advise them to go back.
As I am shout out to your rotationist and Mr. Sarkozy, what do you think is the situation? You talked of the unemployment rate, you talked of the early youths, and not my young adults, and of them being the ones who are most prone to losing hope. What do you think is the solution? You also talked about rehabilitation. So as a roundup, what do you think is the solution, or how best can we cut down at least from 40%, from around 40% of the 129 to at least 2% to 0 if possible?
I think it's also critical that we also look at the issue of recreational facilities. When we were growing up, we used to know kuti Python's pane ground kunotambira bora. There's a swimming pool that was functional. Vana vachikura vachienda ikoko. So it will be very difficult kuti munhu atanga kufunga nezvimwe zvinhu, because waitongozwa kuti wabva kuchikoro maybe unomboenda munotamba bhora kumagrounds, kana unomboenda kuswimming pool, kana kugolf course. But the unfortunate part is that maybe Malindi Barons, where there was supposed to be a football pitch or a gym, part of an stadium. So these are some of the challenges that will also come back, that have also come back and haunt us as a people. Then there's also Ishema youth centers. There's need for us as a country to have my youth centers, but unfortunately youth centers edu atinawo mashoma, and some of them chero aripo haana zvikwanisiro zvoita kuti aoperate zviri at a proper functional level. Then there's also issue yema churches, like what my sister Maka has been talking about. But the challenge yavapo ndeyekuti some of the churches vatavanawo mazuva havacha preach the correct gospel to the extent yekuti mwana atova kutonyara zviri kuenda kuchechi kwacho, kuti akaenda kuchechi kwacho unobva ane stress nokuti kune kuchidiwa kuti unofanira kuisa mari amenoti yakaita sei kuti uzoona munhu waMwari. Saka unogona kutoita stress yekuti kuchechi ndichanokanda chii. Saka dai iwe machechi tokurudzira chaizvo kuti deno vanga vadzokera pachinyakare pavo in terms of how they disseminate my messages anoita kuti vanhu vange vachiponeswa pamweya zvese nekunge vachiona kukosha kweupenyu.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was Mr. Chuma. My name is Leopold Mnende. This was the agenda. We were talking of the rise in suicide by youth since January this year. Already recently we've recorded 2. Suicide youths are contribute 40% of the initial number and released on Mapulsa early this year, which stood at around 129. So we constituted, I'm assuming, more youths are committed suicide because these ones had not, the recent ones had not been incorporated in that report. Our 129 people had committed suicide across Zimbabwe, and 40% of those were youths. That is according to the therapy. Ashton Gumiran Kreles Kolite, thank you so much for following us. Silva Shinimpiri, thank you so much. This is newszimbabwe.com, News in TV on YouTube. Thank you so much for following us, Mr. Chuma. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you, viewers.
Maka, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Maka, we had to drag her in because she has the religious, she wanted to add the religious part of our discussion. Thank you so much for following us.